Midnight in Manhattan. The Reed Industries tower should have been dark and quiet, but a single light glowed at the end of the marble hallway. Alexander Reed, 38, CEO and billionaire, had just shut down his computer after a long day of high-pressure meetings. The corridor was empty, except for that warm glow under the maintenance closet door. Who was here so late? Alexander paused for a moment, curiosity prickling at the back of his mind. He walked slowly toward the light, his expensive shoes echoing softly. The air smelled faintly of polished wood and lemon cleaning spray. When he reached the closet, he hesitated only a second before pushing it open quietly. Inside, Marcus Thompson, the janitor, sat hunched on a small stool under a desk lamp. Textbooks and papers were scattered around him like a makeshift classroom. Marcus's broad shoulders, normally bent with labor, were now bent over a chemistry textbook. The lamp's glow revealed the deep concentration on his face, brow furrowed, as if in a lecture hall. Alexander recognized Marcus from day shifts. He was surprised to see his janitor studying in the dead of night. Startled, Marcus looked up and accidentally knocked a notebook off the stool. "Oh, Mr. Reed! I'm so sorry." "Sir?" he stammered, bending to pick it up. His voice shook. He turned to switch off the lamp. Alexander stepped forward calmly and caught his arm. "Wait," Alexander said softly. He sat on a nearby box so he was at Marcus's eye level. "Don't turn it off. Why are you studying at this hour, Marcus?" Marcus swallowed and set the notebook down gently. He straightened, trying to steady his breathing. "I'm in night school, sir," he said quietly. "I have a big chemistry exam next week. I thought I'd use this quiet time to study." He gestured at the open textbook on the stool, pages full of formulas and handwritten notes. Alexander looked around the small closet, an old calculator, scuffed textbooks, a half-empty mug of cold coffee. The space smelled of cleaning solution and old paper. "I didn't know you were going to school," he said in surprise. "We have a lit study room late at night and you could have used that." Marcus shook his head, eyes on the floor. "I didn't want to be a bother," he said softly. "I pay my own tuition. When my wife got sick last year, the bills wiped out our savings. We have 2 kids now, Lily and baby Max, and I want to give them a better future. So I study, whenever I can." His fingers traced a line in the book. Alexander felt a lump in his throat. He remembered a company memo. An employee had been struggling. An anonymous donation was made. In that instant, he realized who it was. Marcus had quietly carried burdens Alexander could only imagine, and he was still standing there, ready to learn. He took a slow breath and met Marcus's eyes. "Marcus," he said gently, "no one should have to study by lamplight in a closet. That isn't fair." Marcus's lip trembled. Alexander paused, searching for the right words. "You've worked hard," he said, voice steady. "And now, it's our turn to make it easier. I'll fix this," he added more firmly, pulling out his phone. "Starting now." He quickly called the facilities team. "Install a proper desk lamp and an extra outlet in closet 12, and let security know Marcus Thompson needs after-hours access to study." He hung up and turned back to Marcus. "There, better lighting. Coming right up." Alexander wasn't done. He looked Marcus squarely in the eye. "And from now on, forget about paying tuition on your own," he said quietly. "The company has an education fund. We'll cover your classes." Marcus's eyes widened. He let out a shaky breath. I can manage, Mr. Reed," he began. "No." "Argument," Alexander interrupted with a smile. "You've earned it." Marcus finally managed a nod, still in disbelief. "Thank you," he whispered. Alexander patted his shoulder. "You should study, not worry about lights or bills. So tell me about your classes." A faint smile crept onto Marcus's face. "Well, sir," he said, "I've always loved science. In high school, I dreamed of being an engineer. When we couldn't afford college, I joined the army to help my family. But I promised myself I'd finish school someday. Even now, I sometimes tutor kids at the community center to keep my own skills sharp. Right now, I'm taking chemistry and physics." Alexander nodded, impressed. "I did something similar," he admitted. "I used to pull all-nighters in college libraries. I had textbooks spread out everywhere, and maybe too much coffee. I even worked odd jobs to pay my own tuition." Marcus's eyes lit up. You did that too. I never would have expected it. I'm studying next to a CEO. They both chuckled quietly. Outside, the city night was still and calm. In that tiny closet, they found themselves on equal footing, talking quietly about dreams and determination. Over the next few days, Alexander quietly made sure Marcus's situation improved. Maintenance installed a real desk and lamp in the closet, and Alexander anonymously left a stack of additional textbooks for Marcus to use. HR also reviewed Marcus's situation and arranged a small aid grant for his tuition and bills. Marcus suddenly found himself with brighter lights and fewer worries, able to focus on his studies like never before. One evening, Alexander asked Marcus to join him in a conference area to look over some data. They stood by a whiteboard covered in graphs and numbers for a new chemical project. As Alexander pointed at a complex supply curve, Marcus peered closely. "Sir," he said, tapping a number, "look at this ratio. If we stay with this plan, we'll run out of reagent next week." Alexander frowned. "Really? Let me check." He rechecked the calculations. Marcus was right. "Great catch," Alexander said with genuine surprise. "You just saved us a lot of trouble." Marcus blushed. "I guess all that studying helps," he replied. Alexander clapped him on the back. "You've got a sharp mind, Marcus. Keep it up." Finally, exam week arrived. Alexander arranged one more surprise. On Friday night, as Marcus finished polishing the lobby floor, a small group of employees quietly gathered. Alexander stood, waiting with a sealed envelope. "Marcus," he announced, voice ringing in the hallway, "you've been working hard here and in school. Congratulations." He handed Marcus the envelope. With trembling hands, Marcus opened it. Inside was his official degree certificate. He had earned his associate degree in chemistry with top marks. A cheer erupted among the gathered colleagues. Marcus felt tears in his eyes as they clapped him on the back. The quiet janitor of 2 weeks ago was now a celebrated scholar in their midst. After the applause, Alexander pulled Marcus aside. "We're also setting up a college fund for Lily. And Max," he said softly. "They won't have to worry about tuition," Marcus choked up. I don't know what to say," he whispered. Alexander smiled and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Just keep being you, Marcus," he said. "You reminded us all what really matters." From that night on, Marcus's story lived on at Reed Industries. Alexander later announced a new scholarship program for employees inspired by Marcus's determination. And Marcus Thompson. He and his family moved into a small apartment with electricity at night and a real desk lamp on his table. Still, sometimes before bed he would turn off the lights and remember the faint glow of that first closet lamp. In the quiet dark, he knew that one small light and one kind leader had brightened the futures of them all. For Alexander, the night taught an unforgettable lesson. He realized that every person in his company had dreams, no matter their title. He walked out silently, promising to never again overlook the quiet potential of those around him. The story of Marcus and the closet lamp became a favorite reminder. Sometimes the smallest light can dispel the deepest darkness. For years afterward, he would remember that night as a turning point. He was determined to carry this lesson forward. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring tales. Your support helps us keep bringing powerful stories to light. And remember, even the smallest act of encouragement can change someone's life.